And I am live. So says XSplit. And there's probably no one viewing me yet. Let's have a look. So I'm talking to myself. Impromptu. Oh no, there we go. Ask Dave live. There we go. I'm up. No, there's 5 thumbs up already. Like within like 5 seconds, there's 5 thumbs up. Wow, do people like get alerted on their... You don't have time to open your email and click on your thing. Or people have phones these days. And they get the push notifications on the phones. Oh, geez, people are chatting like crazy already. This is nuts. Hang on. Hang on. Top chat. No, I want live chat. I want all of them. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Okay. Hang on. Let me pop it out. How do I... Come on. Where's the pop out thing? Pop out chat. There we go. So I'll bring it over here. Please excuse me. Please excuse the housekeeping. All right. And I'll go webcammy. There you go. I don't know. Do I want, like, which one should be on top? Oh, hang on. Hey, what happened to my camera? Hello? What? What? My camera just died. Hello, McFly. Sorry. I don't know what happened. None. Hang on. My camera's died. Add source. Hello from Montreal. Source, devices, screen capture, stream, no. Devices, video, even media capture. There we go, I'm back. So I'll delete the other one, I guess. That's really... Let's see if it does it again. If I reorder... Yep. If I try and reorder, it doesn't like it. I reckon that's a bug in XSplit. I reckon there's a bug in XSplit there. Yep. Oh, hang on. I can use my uppity... Ah, there you go. Use uppity doodad arrow. I reckon that's a bug. Yep, that's a bug. So if I go desktop, uppity doodah, it vanishes. Sorry, I'm not like... I can show you. I can do the Inception thing. And... wow. I reckon there's a bug in XSplit. Sorry about this. Right. There's a bug in XSplit where if I have this live chat window here, I presume it's live chat window and it's not anything else. How do you like dock a thing directly to the side to like fill up half the screen? Someone will know. Anyway, yep. Sorry. That's... Yeah, like I want to put this behind the other window, but I can't do it. Because if I do it, it vanishes. It's dumb. Totally dumb. Wow. Yeah. A million people will be saying, use OBS. Alright, so I guess the solution to that is to simply turn the camera like that and go like that. I reckon that's the solution. Alright, hi everyone. Give me a high five. 5 seconds. Did I do it within 5 seconds? I guess I better do the tweeteries to let the... Because this didn't announce on Twitter, did it? I don't think it announced on Twitter. that I'm live. Live. I guess I'll do Facebook. Don't really use Facebook. But I have a page on there and it auto feeds my videos onto Facebook, and there's like people comment and everything. Sorry, I literally do not read comments on Facebook, on my Facebook page, on the EEVblog Facebook page. Come and ask me anything. Publish. Bingo. All right, I'm up. Sorry. Oh, there's lots of hands. There's lots of hands. Memory like a goldfish. I forget what I asked. Why am I awake at 1:30 a.m.? It's not. Sunlight coming through. That's what you can see on the side of my head. That's sunlight. It is. What is it? These bloody newfangled analog watches. 12:30. It is 12. Hello. Stupid camera. Focus, you bastard. Like, hand. Focus. Hello, McFly. Thank you. There you go. There you go. It's 12:30. Yes, that's a Belova Accutron 2. I know it's a rip-off Accutron. It's not the real Accutron because it doesn't have the tuning fork. I know. I just like the look of it. You really miss Fundamentals Friday. Is that a question? It's not a question. It's a statement. I'm here to answer questions. Rygols were in DC coupling mode. I have no idea what you're referring to. What? I supported... What? That was a Trump thing. The longer we leave it, the more it'll devolve into something to do with Trump or something to do with Hitler. Godwin's law. I don't want your hot dogs, Wyatt. I'm not going to high-five you. Going to do an RF probe PCB design. Oh, right. No. What do you mean RF probe? No. I guess is the answer to that. The flat earth thing. This is funny. I tweeted this the other day. I was watching Netflix and this like flat earth video popped up. Like Netflix actually paid for this, right? And I thought, I tweeted like this is the dumbest thing ever, but I was bored. So I started to like flick through it to see how funny this would be. You know, and it was actually quite well produced. It was about this guy who's like the god of flat earthers. And Mark Sargent, I think his name is. And anyway, it's actually a pretty good documentary, and it like followed these flat earthers around as they were holding like the world's first flat earth conference or whatever. And at the end, like they figured out that they would test it, you know, because they really want to be able to test this thing. So they got laser, and they tried to put it. No, yeah, the first test they had failed, you know, because over a couple of 100 meters or whatever, you get, you know, the slight curvature of the Earth. I don't know how they didn't account for just general undulations in the Earth or whatever. I'm not sure. But anyway, maybe they got, maybe you're sitting on a body of water or something, and then you can, a still body of water, that'd do it. And they shined this laser. They had a first attempt, it failed, but then they figured that they would hold up a lamp, right? So the laser thing failed. They didn't get good results from it. So they thought, let's just put holes in these two boards, right? Or was it 3 boards? Can't remember. Anyway, like separated by like hundreds of meters, and we'll shine a light. You know, someone will be holding up a light at one end, and if we can see the light through the holes, we can prove the Earth is flat, right? And they did the calculations, and they figured that it'd be like 7 feet or something like that. But if the Earth was curved, because of the curvature of the Earth, they would have to hold the light up to like, I don't know, 15 feet or something, right? And so this is right. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You can guess the result. And and this is right at the end of the movie. This is how the movie ends, or the doco ends. And, and they're going, right, if it's at 7 feet, we've proven that the Earth is flat. Scientific, no doubt, done. And they do the test, and they go, they hold up at 7 feet or whatever, and the light, and they go, we can't, walkie-talkies, we can't see it, hold it up a bit higher. And sure enough, they get up to 15 feet, we can see it. And the flat Earth guy goes, wow, that's interesting. And then the movie ends. It's like, yeah, the Earth is round, dude. It's hilarious. It's great. Anyway, sorry I haven't been watching the comments. I just wanted to. I got a great chuckle out of that. I thought it was a very well done documentary, actually, and it was funny. It was funny. Didn't watch all of it. I was kind of like skip through bits, but it was pretty funny. I sound like I have a couple of dicks in my mouth. What? Yeah, my voice sucks. Sue me. I only got back from the gym not long ago, where I almost killed myself, so I'm like, anyway. Can I use a oscilloscope probe on my 4100 Heathkit frequency counter, 300 megahertz counter, 10 megahertz, 100 megahertz probe? Okay, yes, you can use your oscilloscope probe. Certainly. Is it a 1-to-1 or a 10-to-1? The 10-to-1 might not be valid if you don't have a 1 meg input impedance, for example. So anyway, yes, you can. Oh, favourite line in the Back to the Future series. Oh, I don't know. Let's just call it Great Scott, because it's so generic. Video on best settings for FFT. Yeah, maybe. That'd be kind of... There's lots of variables, though. Oh, man. The things are going so fast. Dave, review the decent clone soldering station at FX, the Spawn Con. I just got like an email from Banggood the other day, and like normally, no, it wasn't from Banggood, I think, but it was Banggood have this new, they're designing their own stuff now apparently, and they have like this clone soldering on, and they wanted to know if I wanted to review it. It's like, nah, not really. It's like, because I don't like Banggood for a start. And I don't want to support them. I said, nah. And it looks pretty ordinary. So it's just like, no. If you're going to buy a soldering, just go out and buy that FX. If you want to buy a $20 soldering iron, just get the FX936 ripoff. I've done a video on that. And it's like, it's less than $20, even Australian. It's like 18 Australian dollars or something. It works, takes the Heiko irons and, the clone ones, takes the Heiko tips. You can use the genuine tips on it. Whatever. How's the weather by you today? Oh, it's cloudy. It was kind of almost looking like it would rain before. A lot of famous bloggers start to create and make their own products. Will you do something like that? Make some measuring stuff, etc. I guess you've missed the whole 121 multimeter and the microcurrent. And I rebadged some stuff. And we're working on the microsupply. Microsupply is happening. Just ordering the new PCB for that. Tried to do it last night. But for some reason, the JLC PCB thing didn't load in the 4-layer Altium files properly. I don't know, it didn't preview properly. Something went wrong, so I'm not sure what the... Do I travel overseas to buy specific components? No. Why would I travel overseas to buy components? Just order them. Am I still building the Raspberry Pi cluster supercomputer? Oh, I'm always thinking about it. The problem is, it's like like the Raspberry Pis, like from a video blogging point of view, right? The thing that's going to get the views is it's because it's Raspberry Pi, right? But the Raspberry Pi sucks in terms of value for money, bang per buck, all that sort of stuff. You know, like an Orange Pi for 1/4 the price or something beats it hands down. And, you know, and I don't want to fake title it. I don't want to say Raspberry Pi supercomputer and then put Orange Pis or some other thing in it, you know, and I don't know, and I'm like, and really all it is, it's nothing. It's just basically sticking a bunch of Raspberry Pis together and hooking them up to a network cluster. You know, I could do that in like an hour, right? Sorry, hooking up router, network cluster. What am I talking about? Router, right? Hooking them up to a router, and it's like, you know, whoop-de-doo. I did a video once on the, you know, how maybe I could make my own router on the board and stuff like that. I don't know. It's like, yeah. I know. I'd really, yeah, like, yeah. And I want to do it. But it's just, there's just so many little nitpicky things. Either it's like, oh, that's just too simple and it's not really worth doing. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, and yeah, it's occasionally I give it some thought, and if I can go in this direction or that. How's the giveaway going? It went gangbusters, like 10,000 comments or something. I should just shut it off shortly. I don't know when it will pop up. No, when I'll stop. Pop up. Thank you, Maxim. Max, I don't know. It's like, sorry, I can't. 40 rubles. How are the batteries doing? I don't know. Let me go have a look. I don't think they're not going to leak. I can tell you. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Surprise, surprise, no leakage. It's like, it could take months or not at all. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Hey, DefPom, got any more things to fix? Yeah, I've got a half open Tech 47475. I shot some footage on that, I think. I've got it on my thing somewhere. Your thoughts about the suspended Solos campaign? Well, serves them right. Serves them right. You don't post bullshit claims, demonstrable bullshit claims like that. You're going to get busted. It serves them right. If they simply advertise it as a nice, sexy IR panel heater, which you can buy on AliExpress, like there's a lot of companies selling the exact same IR heater as this thing, glass panels and all, right? Funky glass panels. So yeah, serves them right. It's good that they stopped it because the claims are bullshit. And I have nothing wrong with the campaign. The campaign was fine. It's when you start making bullshit claims about being able to produce more energy than any other electric heater. The world's most efficient. It's the reason that the UK government shut down another graphene Kickstarter. It wasn't a Kickstarter, but another graphene startup heater company for exactly the same thing. They did exactly the same products. They made exactly the same, claims of it's more, more efficient and everything, and they shut them down, as they should. PDIP will be dead. No, it won't. Compared to 15 years ago. How do you think that electronics learning will be compared to 15 years ago? Not quite. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Oh, there's a $10 super chat coming up. Sorry, I'm pausing these comments because I want to read them. Yeah, PDIP, no, but it's never going to die. There's always uses for these. There's always single-sided boards. You can do single-sided through-hole, you can do single-sided surface mount. Even your top-end consumer products these days, go look at the power supply inside any modern, $10,000 TV and you'll find a single-sided PCB in there. for the power supply because it's still cheaper. But ironically, dip chips cost more to manufacture, in theory. They cost more to manufacture than a surface mount one. There's more material. The lead frame that they package it in is bigger. There's more material. There's more metal. Everything, like, it costs more. And in theory, it should probably cost more to assemble too, because a human, well, no, you can get automatic dip insertion machines and stuff. But anyway, yeah, it's just surface mount is more, is higher volume, you know, is always going to be ultimately cheaper. But as always in electronics, it depends. Mike, thank you very much, Mike. Sorry, I got it wrong. Yes, Mike. I see, I don't understand like that. That means nothing to me, I'm sorry. Duracell will destroy Dave. Ah, have a go, you mug. Indoor solar harvesting is bogus. Well, it's not bogus. You can do it. You can get out X microwatts out of it. You know, no, and solar harvest is not bullshit. My calculator's solar. It works. You know, you can get usable energy out of it, but it's not much. So, you know. As always with these things, there's a kernel of truth and then, you know, 90% marketing bullshit. When am I going to rip solar roadways? Another one. Oh, wait. If they do anything dumb again. I don't know. There's a lot of people keep sending me solar roadways links in different countries and they're doing this project and that. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, where was the, sorry, anything good in the dumpster today? Nope, had a look, nothing there. Sorry, where's the $40, the $10 super chat? Thank you, Christopher. Bork with an E. I'm building an environmental control system and haven't found bulkhead for 5-volt fan that can seal unpowered. Looking to use dryer vent with flap plus servo or 3D printed iris diaphragm. Thoughts on mechanism? Not quite sure. You mean you're talking about bulkhead, so you're talking about penetration from one side to another. That's what bulkhead means. It means you have a bulkhead, like on a, you know, usually I think the terminology comes from a ship, right? And you want to penetrate from one side to the other. You want to get signals or pipes or anything across from one side to the other, but you don't want it to leak. That's the whole idea of a bulkhead. That for 5-volt fan that can seal unpowered. I'm not sure what unpowered can seal unpowered. I'm not sure what that means. Looking to use dryer vent with flap plus servo, 3D printed iris diaphragm. I'm not sure. Like, it totally depends on what sort of bulkhead you're talking about. If you just want a penetrator to go from one side to the other, that's not hard. You can buy penetrators and then you can seal them with various things. And what sort of environmental thing? Is it water? Is it air? Is it, you know, some sort of gas? Not sure. More information required. Sorry, Christopher. But a dry event with a flap is not a very good seal. Plus a servo or 3D. So you want to have like a servo that opens a flap on a bulkhead? Or a 3D printed iris diaphragm. That'd be cool. Maybe you could just like take apart the lens or something and get the nice little iris, like 7-blade iris out of it. That'd be cool. Just because I think they look cool. Yeah, Marley, I'm doing great. Some backers still don't just read the comments. They even mentioned some respected YouTuber. Yeah. I just realized now that I just was looking through the spam folder for the Solace video, and it turns out that Maxim, his name is, or whatever, the guy that runs it, he had posted, well, he just copy and pasted from the comments over there. He had posted in there, but the YouTube determined it was spam. So I just approved his comments, so his comments are now showing up. So hope he doesn't get the impression that I was deleting comments or, you know, stuff like that. It's just $5. Oh, the timer's going down on the $5 one. I've got to read the $5 one. Oh man, it just skipped. It just jumped. Love your videos, Dave. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Nandor. Santo, with a silent Z. We landed on the moon is bogus. All in upper caps. Yeah, right. Hey, Dave. Thoughts on the 65C02? Have been building a computer with one recently. Good fun. Sure would nice to have a scope to help debug it. Enter the contest along with 10,000 other people. I haven't looked at how many video entries so far for that, but there were a lot of video. I was surprised by the number of video entries. I haven't watched any of them yet. I'll go through and watch them all when it's done, but there were, like, within, like, hours, there were, like, 20 videos there or something. Wow. I always see a lot of resistors and capacitors on digital circuits. Apart from filtering, what do they do? Well, where do you see them? You know, more information required. Shay? They just could be, well, generally on digital circuits, you don't want resistors and capacitors. You might have, right, I'm thinking like RC circuit, right? A resistor and a capacitor in like a low-pass filter kind of thing, which you can do on PWM signals, of course. But resistors, you're probably talking about pull-up resistors, and you're probably talking about bypass capacitors. And I've done videos on bypass capacitors. Don't think I've done a video on pull-up resistors, but go look at any like open collector, any video on using open collectors, I2C bus, all that sort of stuff. They need pull-up resistors because they don't work, because they've got a transistor down the bottom. And if you turn on the transistor, it pulls it down to ground. If you turn it off, then it's nothing. It just floats. It's just a floating signal. And you don't want a floating signal because then just noise gets introduced and it just goes all over the place. And that's why you need a pull-up resistor. And it's always a trade-off. I remember a job interview once. I went for a job interview, and I think it was one of those contract design houses, you know, something like that. And one of the questions was, can you use a 1 meg pull-up resistor? And I went, yeah, maybe. Depends on the context, you know. And he said, oh, on a 4000 series CMOS or a 74HC or whatever, you know, can you use a 1 meg pull-up resistor? And I said, yeah, likely, you know, it's okay. You can get away with it. And said, can you use 10 meg? And I said, maybe. And I knew where he was going. I could have answered it from day one, but like from the first question, I knew I could have just simply kept talking, but I wanted to sort of extract it out of him. And can you use 100 meg? Maybe. I was trolling the guy, really. And he eventually said, you know, well, why? Please explain. And then I eventually explained, well, it's the input bias current, and if you have a certain, you know, there's a certain input bias current, even with, you know, the best CMOS stuff, and you'll eventually get a voltage drop, which will pull it below VO high, for example. And once you do that, all bets are off. And anyway, yep. Missed some paid content. Oh, yeah, I never mentioned the 6502 CO2. I got distracted. Did I miss other paid content? No. 6502. Yeah, have I got a 6502 board here? It's a kit. I got it in the mailbag. I think it's a 6502 based, like, single chip computer board. I want to build that. So, yeah, 65CO2 is cool. Venerable chip back in the day. Software-defined radio stuff. Yeah, well, I've got this. I've got the... focus, you bastard. Oh, actually, I had the... I can get it running now. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hold on to your hat. Video. No. Tools. Bloody hell. Downloads. Where'd I put it? So many different versions. It was a bitch to get working. Spectrum. 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 Here it is. There you go. We can get it working right now. Right now. Generic device. Boom. There we go. There we go. That's our, what is it? The RTL 2832U with the, that's the base. I'm going from, what is it, 1 meg to 500 meg, I think. And it says on here 25 meg to 1.7 gig receiver. But I believe it's actually more than that. I believe that... Come on. Focus, you bastard. Anyway, I believe it's... and it's got like a TCXO. A pretty schmicko one. 0.5 ppm. It's pretty good. So, which is a temperature compensated crystal oscillator. And it says 25 gig to 1.7... 25 meg to 1.7 gig, but I believe it can go lower, so I'm not sure why it says that. I got this one because it had the much more usable SMA connector on it. And there you go, we can do our frequency sweep. So I was going to plug my EMC probe into that and, you know, see if it can do much. It's only got like a 2 meg bandwidth or something, or a 1 meg bandwidth, and you have to sweep across, of course, and you get all little artifacts and all sorts of crap. But, yeah, it's usable as a spectrum analyzer. So that one's sweeping across. You know, it's reasonably good. It's kind of fast enough-ish sweep to be able to, like, move around the board and find stuff, maybe, cheaply. But, you know, if you're serious about electronics and you're looking at EMC, you're going to have a scope with FFT anyway. So, you know, it's probably better just to use that rather than one of these things. But anyway, yeah, there you go. I'll leave that. Can I leave that like running in the background because that kind of looks cool. I'll leave that just running up there. There you go. Maybe I can plug like an antenna into it or something. No, I don't think I have an antenna here. So no. There you go. Dave, click on Christopher. Why? There's Christopher. There he is. And there's Mike. There he is. Got the helmet on. It isn't clipped up, dude. That's an OH&S risk. And somebody has a decent view that's spoiled in the background by all those buildings in the background there. Love your videos. Keep up the... Oh, geez, that's an arty photo. Love the beard. And Matthew has a cat with some cherry things. Mike Unleash 1, thank you. Ozzy. 5 Ozzy. It's Mike and Ozzy. I assume A is AUD. I'm having trouble building RAM for my Minecraft computer. Can you please help? Server... Sorry, Banned English. Sorry, I know absolutely nothing about Minecraft and building RAM for your Minecraft computer. Why do you build RAM? You just buy RAM and plug it in. I don't know what Minecraft... I don't know anything about Minecraft. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have no clue. I don't know. I really don't. Oh. Oh, hang on. He had another one. Oh, wow. Hang on. What? Oh, geez. Hang on. I have a 3-phase... Sorry for anyone asking questions in between. I'm in like it looks like I'm staring at the screen, but I'm really just like staring into the void half the time. I'm occasionally answering questions in there, but I got to answer the super chat ones. I have a 3-phase digital Cape Cod CNC. There you go. Is that a... That's like a press. That's like a... It's just a... It slides out on these... I can't point to it on the screen. Can't move my cursor because it'll go off. So it slides in and out. It goes up and down, and it's a press. Or no, that's a drill. That's a chuck, is it? On the top. I have a 3-phase digital converter that is putting noise onto the mains. 3-phase digital. Any ideas for filtering it around? I just did a video using a power quality meter. That's not hugely my area, but you're basically talking about conducted mode noise there. So really, it's like a big ass chokes. That's how you get around that. If you look at the Schaffner, for example, the teardown of the Schaffner impulse unit that I did recently, look at the big common mode choke that they had to put on that thing. It was enormous. And then they had to have this extra custom filter as well after that, just to stop all the crap, those impulses getting back out. That's how serious, they're enormous things. You can buy little common mode chokes, but they're generally not going to do the business. You really need to put massive common mode chokes on there. And then your conducted, then that doesn't necessarily stop your conducted mode interference if you're talking about EMC as well. So it is a huge, see it is round, right. I just did a video. Yeah, it's quite a complex subject, something I can't really answer here, without looking at the item and looking at the context and stuff. And what's a 3-phase digital converter? And once again, 3-phase is something that I've never really dealt with either. Because all the stuff I've ever worked on is single phase, and then I'm not really into working on main stuff anyway. So, do you know Mr. Carlson's lab channels? Yes. What do you think about this guy? I don't know. I'm not subscribed. I'm subscribed, but I don't get notifications. I've rarely watched one of his videos, only if they happen to pop up, and only if it seems of relevance and of interest to me. Does a reasonable job. There was a lot of controversy about it was an ESR tester he did or something. It was an insulation tester or something. There was a big thing about it on the forum about how he was like claiming stuff that wasn't possible or something like that. I don't know. Looking forward to the New South Wales election in a couple of weeks. Is there an election? Who cares? It's like, we don't have independence in our electorate anyway. Can't even vote for a bloody independent because there are none. I'm thinking about running myself just so I can vote for myself. Quad core memory, I read all comments. Well, I read thousands of comments a day. Shay, I answered your question way back, Shay. You're asking again. Second suck of the sav. There's 4 pages, 25 posts per page, contest videos to... Oh, right. Wow. Okay. 100 videos. Wow, I hope they're all short. If there's any 5-minute ones, I'm just not going to watch them. You'll be out. Because you didn't follow my instructions. Talked about making PCBs for near field probes. Am I going to? I might, but it's so simple. It's literally a 4-layer board with 2 traces and a ground plane on it. But we'd rather do something more interesting. And David too and I have talked about having a scanner, having like maybe retrofitting an XY scanner bed or maybe a document scanner or something like that, retrofitting it with like maybe, you know, 50 tiny little coils and then multiplexing them, and, you know, little near field probes and then multiplexing them and stuff like that. And yeah, that might be a project, but it's so many projects to work on. No, the video tour through my lab would not be interesting, because the problem is, Vova, my lab is not really a working lab. It is because I don't do engineering as a living anymore. It's not a working lab. It's more set up in total chaos for just making videos. Nothing like nothing's set up properly. Nothing's organized properly. It's just there's nothing to see. Labs that are interesting are working labs to see how people productively do things during the day. And my one's set up for making videos. It's not set up for, as a lab to do working, engineering work all day, every day. Two very different requirements. Doing a first-year engineering project about curling split times. I have no idea what that is. Yes, I like dogs. I had 2 dogs growing up. The wife won't let me have a dog. She reckons I can't even take care of myself, let alone a dog. And she's right. Avionics teardowns. Why don't I do more? People don't send me avionics gear. Now, there's some good resources for learning about BJTs. I don't know. There's tons, I'm sure. Tons of books. Don't go in depth enough to get a good understanding. Oh, really? No, there's lots of textbooks out there on BJT amplifiers. Any decent textbook will have all your standard, your BJT characteristic curves and the whole, it'll go through the whole, the operating, the bias points and the operating things and the whole works. There's tons of stuff out there. I have no idea what an IRS2092 is. It's an Infineon Technology high performance Class D audio amp. Who cares? It's a protected digital audio amplifier. 16 pin. Hang on. Oh. George Pell got the bastard. IRS2092. Protected digital audio amplifier. Anything special about it? Floating inputs enable easily half-bridge implementation. Program bidirectional overcurrent protection. Self-reset. Reset dead time for improved THD performances. Start and stop click noise reduction. High noise immunity. 100 volt ratings. Deliver 500 watts in output power. 500 watts in output. I was going to say, not in a 16 pin dip, you're not. And I'll look down and there's the external power trannies. Yeah. All right. Whoop-de-doo. No, sorry, that doesn't interest me in the least. So the answer to that would be no, I'm not going to do a video on just a generic Class D amp. Can WS2801? I have no idea. It's an Adafruit thing? No, they've just got the data sheet. World Semi. Who's World Semi? 3-channel constant current LED driver with programmable PWM outputs. Okay, wide current 5 to 150 milliamps. Dim in for each channel. Blah, 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 blah. They're all into these flashy things. It's probably on one of their tape-based LED things or whatever. Although this is a... it's a clock and it's an SDI. Okay. It's got a feed, yeah, it's got an SDO, so you can daisy chain them. Okay, so it's just a serial shift register. It's just a clock line. And it's got a clock out too. clock in and clock out. That's interesting. So it rebuffers it each time, because that's one of the problems with having long clock lines and stuff like that is, you know, the further it goes, the greater the capacitance, and the slew rate just goes to hell. And yeah, the drive capability, you know, any given digital drive, a clock drive, is only going to be able to drive X amount of capacitance, and the longer you make the line, the more problems you have. But if you feed the clock in and then you buffer it and clock it out, you're ready for the next leg, you know, a meter long leg, or however long you want to send it. So yeah, it just rebuffers that locally. So that's why they do that. Apart from that, I'm sure it's just a serial, oh well, it's a serial shift register, and it probably has commands and stuff, because you've got to set PWMs. So there's probably, yep, here we go, input control, PWM controller, band gap reference, that'd be for your constant current stuff. And yeah, RFB, there you go, there's your constant current. So you've got to have an external shunt, I'm assuming. And then that configuration just maintains does your constant current. PWM comparator, grayscale data latches. Okay, yep. So you can latch. So you got clock in, serial data in, grayscale data, shift register, data and clock reconstruct. So they do clock reconstruction. And yep. Higher voltage application, yeah, and there's your current sense. Oh, pardon me, compulsive yawner. There's your current sense resistor, as I said, because it's constant current drive, and that's the internal thing that we saw up there for the block diagram. Yep, they got them, what is it, 3 channels or whatever. And sorry, the question was, can be used for controlling motors through H bridges. Not really. It's designed for constant current output. So I'd say ordinarily not, but I wouldn't say it's not possible. But I mean, it's a PWM signal generator. Can you just get the PWM? Okay, you could just get the PWM out and not use the... No, you can't. No, because you can't get the direct PWM out. Can only do it as part of a constant current configuration, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'd be surprised if you could do it otherwise. So I'm gonna say, please someone correct me in the comments, but I'm gonna say no to that. Through H bridges, purely because you can't get the PWM out of, well, no, you could. No, of course you could. You could put resistors there, and then you could put resistors instead of LEDs, and then you'd get the PWM out. And as long as you don't filter it, that PWM can go into, eventually into your H bridge. And yeah, you can do it, mate. Yeah, you could do it. Yep, I revised that. No. Obama Customs, A-Lab, Customs, JRH. No future video and RF amplifier classes. That's not my thing. RF's not my thing. I'm sure it's a very fascinating career to work on 1 kilohertz gallium nitride. GAN, that'd be gallium nitride, wouldn't it? Pulsed amps. I'm sure it's fascinating stuff. It's just not my area of interest nor expertise. So no, you wouldn't expect a video from me on that. Your Arduino keeps getting stuck. Don't you hate when that happens? Stuck. What does that mean? Generally, they just work. Like the software thing. Your software's getting stuck. Please say any way to debug that. I don't know. There's not enough information. How could I possibly do that? God save the Commonwealth. There is no God. You've been duped. Greatest con of all time. Now, which God? There's been hundreds of them. Hundreds. Thank you very much, Tom Evans. That's what I want to hear. Dear Dave, can you please do a tutorial on how to build a RAM into Minecraft computer? Thanks, Mike. What? Did you ask that again, Mike? I'm sure I answered that before. Like how to build RAM into a Minecraft computer. I know nothing about Minecraft or what the requirements would be. I thought you can run Minecraft on pretty much anything. Can't you? So I'll build on RAM into... I don't understand. Any computer runs Minecraft, doesn't it? I don't understand the question at all. Sorry, Mike. Or have I gone back? Have I gone that far back? Oh God. Sorry. Oh God. So many of them. Sorry. Okay, next. That look. It's a dick and balls. Not a very good dick and balls, I've got to say. Pepe 6666 or Quad 6. That's a pretty bad dick and balls. That's pretty dodgy looking. I've done a video on dick and balls. Look on my second channel. Any tips for catching potato? You've asked a question before, I think, as in another show. Hi Dave, hope you are doing well. Any tip on catching mistakes during the design phase so that I don't waste money on PCBs, just for them not to work? We talked about this on the Amp Hour recently, and we linked to, it's probably in the last 3 or 4, last couple that I've done anyway, of the Amp Hour, so you might want to look it out. There's a link, I don't have it to hand, but there's a link to a document that attempts to be a universal checklist for catching mistakes during the design phase, exactly this thing. And the checklist is already like 10 pages long. And as I mentioned on the Amp Hour, it could effectively be infinitely long. There's some stuff that you do all the time. Like making sure that your ERC is correct, making sure all your nets are connected and everything, making sure you're double checking your packages and your pinouts, and so you don't get them swapped and stuff. Transistor pinouts, they get swapped. Really simple things like that. But ultimately, there are hundreds and hundreds of different things specific to any design. If I sat there and really thought about it. If you gave me a design and I really sat there and thought about it, I'm sure I could come up with a list of 100 different things that you could check for that one particular design that could, that could screw you up if you really came down to it. So unfortunately, having a universal list like this, it's okay. It's going to have, maybe a dozen good things that are kind of generic, but beyond that, it starts to get very specific. Just for them not to work. Yeah, it's like, your big one is your DRC and your ERC. The ERC is the electrical schematic, so you check to make sure that all of, you're not driving, especially if you set it up properly in your ERC. I'm sure I've done a video on this, maybe as part of the Nixie Tube design series, perhaps, where if you do your symbols right in your schematic, you can specify them as outputs or inputs and stuff like that. And then your ERC should flag. There's a big matrix in Altium there is of, cross things that you can check. And one of them might be an output driving an output. You've got two outputs connected together, accidentally connected together on the schematic. It'll flag that, for example. And so that's, that's the first step. And then DRC on your PCB. And then, as I said, your packages and pinouts and it goes down the rabbit hole. It's endless. So sorry, it's not that easy, I'm afraid. What do I think of this little SIGGEN with no link? Well done. Hi Dave, is there any possibility that OPA 2156 works better than OPA in a nested feedback composite amplifier? Geez, that's specific. Can there be a more I don't think I've had such a specific question ever. And MJM work better than a 1612 OPA. Wow, I'd have to look in the combinations. So you're saying that these two are combined, and NJM, is that New Japan Corp? Is that a New Japan Corp one? I'd have to look up every single one of those. So I'd have to open all 4 chips. I'd have to try and figure out what your design thing is. Work better than the OPA 1612. So you're talking about low noise dual operational amplifier. Yes, New Japan Radio. I was right. Hello, McFly. There we go. It's a low noise dual operational amplifier. So you implied that it was a combination of these. An ultra low noise wide bandwidth precision rail to rail amplifier, 36 volt jobby. It's probably not going to be cheap. 25 meg gain bandwidth product. Wide supply. Works from 4.5 to 36 volts. So it's almost, you're implying that they're combined work better than OPA in a nested feedback composite amplifier with a TPA. What's a TPA? Sounds like some sort of power amp or something. High fidelity stereo headphone amplifier. I wasn't far off. You know, high power for headphones, maybe. High fidelity stereo headphone amplifier. Right. So, like, and you have to go works, and you have to define, once again, you have to define what works better. What is your spec? You know, you're going for noise, you know, I assume it's like noise, THD, noise, that sort of thing. THD of 112.5. You know, like, you're just not going to hear this sort of stuff. I would say it doesn't matter. I would say that either of those is not going to matter without even looking at these other ones. I'd say it's not going to matter because you're 99% of the problem is going to come from which headphones you use, for example. So you can gild the lily on your high fidelity stereo headphone amplifier, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, it comes down to, like, are you using, like, these little, you know, earbuddy things? Like, what's the point designing your super high fidelity amplifier, even if you get one of these that costs a couple of $100, or even if you've got, you know, a half decent pair of monitor headphones? Okay, you know, these are better, but it's still, at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to matter a huge amount. I'd be stunned if if you did a true A/B listening test. I'd be stunned if you could hear the difference between either of those two solutions you're talking about. And so, yeah, I think you're gilding the lily you could be gilding the lily there, John, for no reason. Go for the cheaper solution, I'd say. And if people can't hear the difference, what does it matter? Unless you want to be, you know, specmanship, and it's all about marketing. What low-cost scope would you buy if you were beginning? Look, I get either the Rigol or the Siglet. Like the Rigol 1054Z or the Siglet 1202XE or 1204. Get the 4-channel one. Don't buy a 2-channel one. Get a 4-channel scope. If I was beginning, once again, how much money have you got to spend? What's low cost? all of these questions, they always depend upon the circumstances. Salty Dave again tonight. Why am I salty? Is it to do with the... Anyway. Ozzy. Oi, oi, oi! Oi! Dean Johnson. Thank you very much. Dean, what's that? Is that a patch? Oh, it's piss small. Can't even read that. No idea what that is. It's plain, some sort of defense. There's a chopper in there. Some sort of defense badge. I used to work in the defense industry. Yeah, like, just get one of those two. Seriously, like, whichever country you're from, you're donating in Yankee bucks, so I assume you're from Yankee land. Whichever one you can get cheapest out of those, the Siglin or the Rigol. Really, there's not much else competition, unless you want something specific. Unless you have some sort of specific requirement. But if you're just beginning, just the lowest cost scope you can get. Even like the real cheapest ass, nastiest piece of crap, one hung low brand on eBay is going to do the business. Don't buy a USB one, get a bench scope, they're just nicer. But even the cheapest, crappiest Techway one or something, I've done a video on that, like, you know, it kind of, like, it works. Like, you know, if it saves $100 and you can spend $100 on another couple of multimeters and a power supply or something like that, then yeah, you're better off doing that. Can I do some project series just like the micro supply? I learned a ton. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The problem with that is, mentioned many times, is you get so many comments. I still get emails. And comments all the time about this, you know, 5-year-old more. How long ago did I do the micro supply series, you know, in 20 parts? Because I had ended up having two designs running at the same time. And still get emails saying, why did you do this? Why didn't you do this? It's like, yeah. In what areas do you think the big innovations and new technologies will come in the future? Whatever robotic general AI helpers come reality, or will there always be considered dangerous? Oh, the whole AI thing is bullshit. We're not even close. We are not even remotely close to having anything like AI that, like, yeah, there's some niche stuff that works great, but like, we're not even close to general AI. Not even close. It's bullshit. Not even close to worrying about that they're gonna, you know, take us on, and you know, that they're gonna start killing people and they're gonna have a consciousness and all that sort of bullshit. It's just silly. Considered like dangerous. It's just like, if you're so dumb to build like some learning AI into a drone that has a gun on it, well, you know, like, but we're just not even remotely close to anything that we can't control. It's just stupid. Like, sick of hearing about it. Sick of hearing about self-driving cars too. Don't get me started on self-driving cars. Oh, they're a couple of years away. You know, bullshit. Okay. Once again, no, they're possible. Once again, it comes down to, like, all the nuances in the real world. Okay, yes, self-driving cars, yes, you can get them, and yes, technically they work. But the devil's in the huge, infinite amount of detail. Oh man, it's just unbelievable. I guarantee you that a self-driving car could not come up to my building and pick me up. I guarantee you, couldn't do it. Because it's gone off the road, it's gone onto a private driveway, it's gone, and you would have to map it for this specific location. You would have to look out, and if it's a cab and I could go on for hours. Like, if it's an automated cab and it's looking for people, it can't see that you're flagging it down, it doesn't know that you're waving. Like, it can't see people's intentions walking towards their car knowing that they're going to pull out. How do you find a parking spot? It's just ridiculous. We're not even remotely close. There's a million different nuances and variations in all this sort of stuff. How fast does my digital circuit have to be? And I'll bet money on that too. How fast does my digital circuit have to be before length matching becomes important? Or how do I determine this generally? It is not... It's not necessarily about the speed. When you start using, like, well, yeah, it is, but basically, if you using stuff that requires length matching, you'll know it. If you're doing, you know, DDR3 memory and stuff like that, and you will know it. It'll tell you in the app notes. Read the app note, you know, you will. How do you determine it generally? You read the app notes and they go, well, if their example ones have length matching, then, you know, the little wiggly traces, serpentine traces they're called, that come down and, you know, length match and stuff like that. If you're doing multi-channel synchronized sampling and stuff like that, you have to, you know, you're designing an oscilloscope and you have to sample accurately across all 4 channels. Yeah, you got to match the length and stuff like that. And there's no magic, you know, you can't just say, oh, it's over 200 megahertz and you have to have length matching. It depends on your system, what you're driving, all that sort of jazz. As always, it depends. I wish I had like an antenna for this thing. Maybe I can. I'll see if anything pops up. Maybe I've got one. Oh yeah, here we go. Look, just happen to have one right here. There we go. Just got one. I'll plug a little antenna-y. Haven't done this yet. Just plug a little antenna-y thing into here. And hello? Is that still... Is that still sweeping? That's not sweeping anymore. My spectrum has stopped. It was sweeping a second ago, I swear. Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't think it's going to I don't think this reconnects. Oh, yeah, yes it does, look. Hey. Are we getting something? No, what's that? There we go, it's sweeping. Wow. Let's just go from like, oh. What's the, that's the FM radio band. Like, nothing. If I disconnect the antenna, nothing. Am I using this thing right? People are probably screaming at me. Sorry, I'm not looking at the real-time update comments. Whoa. Whoa. No, I think something's gone horribly wrong there. Maybe it's not connecting properly. There we go. That looks better. Oh, look, it just stopped. It just crashed. There we go. No. Set scale. Maybe my scale's off. Auto scale. Hey, there we go. That's nice. Oh, there we go. Auto scale. Still not showing anything up. I kind of expected to... Oh, 88 kilohertz. What? Oh, no, 88,000 kilohertz. 88 megahertz. Yeah. FPGAs is stupid. Helps if you get your grammar right, just saying. What happened to the crusty PS3? I said, oh, you're the one who sent the PS3. MBiz Frenchie. I still have it. Yeah, I was going to do like a BGA reflow thing, and I still have it. Sorry about that. Huh? Timer? Oh, hang on. What happened? Is there a limited number of comments that it holds? I think there might be a limited number of comments. Thank you, Nemo. Timer. I don't know what that means. I don't manage my component inventory. All religion is garbage, absolutely. Hey Dave, any interest in doing a video on radiation hardened circuit design? Oh yeah, I've done a I done a video. I did a video with space radiation hardened thing, and that was quite interesting. Circuit design. Yeah, so I technically have already done a video. Search for EEVblog radiation hardened, and you'll find it. I talked with Carsten was his name, I think, from the Moon Lunar X Prize thing. The Audi lunar rover. Are you shitting me, Hayes? Onus is on the person making the claim. Yes, it is. So if you say God does not exist, you got to convince me. Good luck. Are you kidding? The claim is that you can't do that. What universe are you living in, Hayes Anderson? Wow. I assume that's not a typo. If you're saying God does not exist, no. You're the one, people are the ones making the claim that God, their God, that they just happen to be born into, you know, it's not like they've gone and researched all the hundreds of gods out there and gone, oh yeah, I think this one's true. No, it's just that they happen to be born into that one and that they happen to believe in. Does not exist. You got to be convince me. Like, bullshit. Piss off. It's Russell's teapot. Could be Dave's multimeter. Dave's multimeter is the new version of Russell's teapot. I can guarantee you that there is, I believe, deeply held belief, that there is a multimeter orbiting Mars. Prove me wrong. Dave's multimeter. It's Russell's teapot. It's the 21st century Russell's teapot. Oh dear, oh dear. Unbelievable. Who is more famous, Dave or Donald Trump? Flavio. This is interesting. Technically, at one point, it was me. Believe it or not, if you, well, this was back, this was before he became president, okay? My Wikipedia page had more, there was like 2 or 3 or 4 people just debating endlessly. If you go into the the comments or whatever, what's the Wikipedia comments thing, the revision, you know, where they discuss making changes to the page. And so people who make changes, you can, you know, they argue, you can't make that because blah, blah rule, you know, blah, blah. I'm changing it back because blah, blah. And my page, my Wikipedia page, the number of comments had more than Donald Trump's arguments on Donald Trump's Wikipedia page. It's probably not true now because he's president, but it was just, you know, a year before he became president or something. I don't know whether or not it was before he ran, but I don't know, it could have been. I don't know. But if that's how you define famous, then I was more famous than Donald Trump. There were more people arguing about, or there was more argument going on about my Wikipedia page than Donald Trump's. True story. True story. It's archived on the forum somewhere. It's like, it was hilarious. Why can't you make a video about different electrical motors? Are you a chicken? Yeah, right. Nobody calls me chicken. It's like, I don't give a shit about motors. I you know, I have no interest in motors. Therefore, I don't make videos on them. Dave, have you ever had any serious fan stalker moments? No, not really. Oh, serious? Oh, yeah, actually, yes. I've had to go to the police. Because, yeah. somebody posted, and I know who it was, posted porn, child porn on my forum on Christmas Day. And let's just say they're a pissed off ex-forum user. And yeah, they were reported to the police. I have there, I gave them all the details and they were investigating it. And yep. But not like, I don't, I've had phone calls at home and stuff like that, but they're just excited fans who wanted to track me down, and anyone who meets you on the street, anyone that stops me in the street, and like they're the, nicest people. I've never had anyone either on the street or at an event, come up and have a go at me or something. It's just like, people are really nice. It's great. Just doesn't happen. Because people are gutless. People don't have the guts to come up to your face and say, you're a... Yeah, the RC 2014, that was it. I've still got it here. I'm going to build it. What's my favourite food? I'm not big on food. I'm not a foodie. I could eat the same thing every day and it wouldn't bother me. Wouldn't bother me. It's just calories, Yeah, I like my chocolate. Yeah, I like my ice cream. Yeah. But, can you see clip-in fairly clearly with a cheap oscilloscope? Yeah, any oscilloscope's going to show clip-in. You seem tired. No, well, I'm buggered from the gym. And I'm out of water. Excuse me. Bag of smelly gym clothes. Oof. There's a lot of sweat in there. Sometimes I can lose up to 2 kilos of sweat in a class. Well, that was an old gym I went to. Old gym I used to go to that wasn't air conditioned. That was a real man's gym, that one. And and it was, that was, 40-degree heat under the tin roof. Doing a cardio class. I just spilt. Lucky it's only water. How do I keep fit? I go to the gym. Try to get away from the screen with geocaching. Geocaching's fun, but it's not fun without friends. Yeah, it's better. I've done geocaching on my own, but yeah, it's more fun. How do I do it? I go to the gym and I do group fitness classes. I do group classes because I don't like going to the gym and just working out on my own. It's boring. I'm just going to slack off and it's just boring. I mostly do group fitness classes, and then you meet people and, especially in the cardio classes and stuff, you team up, or the boxing classes or Keymax or whatever it is, the CrossFit, cross-train actual classes. Like you meet, you group up in, you pair up and stuff like that. And you meet people all the time. It's great. Yeah, like after the gym class today, I just stuck around for half an hour talking to this lady who had a knee reconstruction. So we're talking about knee reconstructions, and we're talking about kids, and we're talking about she's got her own supplement business, and we're talking about all sorts of stuff. And half an hour, 40 minutes, just chatting after the class. Anyway, if I don't start keeping up with these comments, look at them all. I can't possibly. How many people are watching, by the way? 565. 560. That's not bad for no announcement at all. Oh, 8 thumbs down. 8 people don't like it. Hey Dave, thank you very much, Sean CSNM. Hey Dave, do you have any advice for someone considering government/lab versus industrial electrical design work? Advice? I don't know. I've never worked in a government lab. I almost did once. I almost applied for a job at ASIO. It was in Canberra, though. Didn't want to move to Canberra, but, you know, I thought, like, oh, yeah, working on spy gear, like, because I was into FM bugs at the time and other, you know, spy stuff. And I thought, oh, that'd be cool. You know, that was working in the electronics design department at ASIO, which is ASIO's equivalent to the National Security Agency in the US, for example. That's our equivalent. Versus industry electrical design work. I don't know. It depends what you're interested in. Government stuff can be boring. Either one can be boring as batshit, or can be exciting. It's purely pot luck, really. And you're talking about electrical design work, or you're talking about electronics, because there's a difference. I generally, you know, electrical to me means like power. Electrical, you know, transmission lines, stuff like that. It means, you know, big, like, energy, big power stuff. I don't manage my component inventory. You've asked that twice. I don't. I'm piss poor at it. So, yeah, sorry, I don't really have, I can't. No, I haven't smoked any reefers. Great Barrier Reefer. The first person. Great Barrier Reefer. The first person to tell me what that's from wins the internet. No, I haven't counted the number of couch feet. No one's got it yet. There's going to be a delay. There's like 30-second delay. No one's got it yet. Great, Barry, a reefer. Come on, someone has to get it. Oh yeah, I still use the pace. Got a bunch of irons in there. Still use that. It's all right. I really like the alloy case and the fact that it's got the rails and you can possibly... I might have to actually mount it under my bench permanently. Ostentatious! Graham Knobs? Graham Knobs? Knobs wins the internet. Ostentation, Australia. Yep. Graham Nobles wins the internet. Oh, look, for those who don't know... Look, I'll make it easy for you. Here we go. Australia. Oh. Australiana. Copy link address. Here we go. There you go. Australiana. Don't think it is anymore, but at one time, this was the highest selling album of all time, highest selling single, musical single of all time in Australia. Ostentatious. And it wasn't a song. It was a stand-up comedy routine. So the highest selling song of all time in Australia was a stand-up comedy routine. I'm not kidding. And this is the video clip for it. Ostentatious. Ostentatious is the one who performed it, but it was actually written by Billy Birmingham, the 12th man. Trust me, you want to get Billy Birmingham's 12th Man album. If you're in, especially if you're into cricket. You know, if you're an Aussie, you're a Pom, you're a Packie, you're a New Zealander, then you'll know all about World Series cricket and you'll know all about Billy Birmingham, the 12th Man. Australian, Aussie as, mate. Aussie as. Hi from Argentina. Oh, the LCD. Yeah, the LCD. I don't know. I don't know what happened in the... I think it's still sitting... It's got to be sitting in a box somewhere. It didn't come out of the move. It didn't survive the move. Well, it survived. It's sitting in... It's got to be sitting in a box somewhere. The LCD, I never powered it back up. What? No, it wasn't Men at Work Down Under. No, it was not Men at Work Down Under. And Men at Work is actually... The lead singer at Men at Work is not Australian. So, there you go. Would have assumed it was Kevin Bloody Wilson rooting in the back of the ute. Come on, I like... I'm educating the non-Australians here, or even the young Australians who won't know anything about what I'm talking about. There we go. Kevin Bloody Will... Did it pop up? Kevin Bloody Wilson rooting in the back of the ute. Can aluminium soda cans be used for a heatsink? Oh, yeah, maybe. But the problem is they're going to be piss poor because they're so thin that to get to transfer the heat through the aluminium, it just doesn't have the thickness required. So it's actually going to be a very poor heatsink. That's why heatsinks, you see, have a real thick base on them to transfer the heat from your device that you attach to the, like it's a big base plate, and then the heat can flow through the big metal base, the big alloy base plate, and then up to the fins where it radiates off the surface, or it can convect off the surface, right? So, yeah, and an aluminium can will be a poor heatsink. Very poor. There's just no bulk in it, and there's no efficiency. Yeah, it might have a large surface area, but that doesn't mean jack if you can't actually get the heat. The thermal resistance is so high, get into the extreme outer edges of the heat, it's going to be useless. It's going to be useless. Midnight Oil's awesome. I went to see the Oils last year. Do I like R&D work or just design work? It's all the same. It's all the same. Some of the coolest stuff I've done's been like just R&D work though, I guess. Yeah, like I never really enjoyed contract design work. Like I worked as a contract designer, and like several times over my career, and I just didn't enjoy it all that much. So I'd say I'd prefer R&D work maybe, because R&D work, you've got a big budget and usually quite flexible timelines, and you just bum around working on cool stuff. No, I haven't reviewed Noki soldering iron. No, I've never had to deal with RSI. I was just talking to someone at the gym today about RSI, and how they say, the girl said her daughter got the girl I was talking to after the gym class. She said, yeah, her daughter got RSI. She's only like 25, 23 or something, and her daughter's got RSI from using the keyboards. I'm going, I'm surprised it hasn't happened to me, right? I've been using a keyboard for 30 plus years or whatever. And yeah, no, I have not had RSI problems, but I'm like one of those people who like has good posture. I'm always conscious of my posture, and I'm always like doing little, not really exercises, but I'm always like moving around, fidgeting and stuff like that. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Seems to me that Dave is somewhat sold out with the EEVblog. Somewhat sold out? What does that mean? It's not, that statement's not really phrased. Looks like Dave is somewhat sold out with the... no, I stand corrected. Seems to me that Dave... has. It should be has somewhat sold out. It's not is somewhat sold out. It's has somewhat sold... Should be has. If you're going to claim I've sold out, at least phrase your thing correctly, Kevin, but, it's okay. How? In what way have I sold out? In what way have I sold out? Please. Come on, Kev. Come on, Kev. Put up or shut up. Thank you, Rassenbot. Because everyone who makes these claims, everyone who's done it over the years, demonstrably I can destroy them. It's just, like, I can destroy their argument. It's like, come on, Kev. How have I sold out? Yeah, I'm not a 5-finger typer. I'm like 4 fingers and a thumb basher. I'm a thumb spacebar. I'm like 4 fingers and a thumb. I don't use all my fingers. There is no raffle for the Tektronix scope. It's a Keysight scope. It's not a raffle. I found them in the dumpster. I'm just giving them away. When did I first get into electronics? I was like 5, 6. What got me into it? I just took shit apart because there was nothing to do back then. If you're a curious kid, back then it was like, what did you do? You took stuff apart to figure out how it works. Yeah, sold out when I signed that record deal. Is Australia a good country to live in? Are you kidding me? People are hopping on boats to come here. That's how good it is. It's awesome. Awesome place to live. How do I keep motivated with training? Fidgeting but still get fat. Oh, you've asked that before. Are these comments being recycled, or do people not hear my responses to their questions? How do I keep motivated with training? I've answered that. Motivation. I do group classes. I already answered that in detail. Is Kev going to back it up, or have I missed it? I could easily miss it because if you start scrolling here, you just end up missing stuff. I think Kev's buggered off, has he? Kev was full of shit. No, I have no thoughts about reviewing a spot welder. Because I'm not into welding, I have no clue, so I would not review a spot welder. No, I didn't really blow stuff up. I threw myself across the room once by working on a live chassis TV. Amazon, oh, I've sold out of multimeters again on Amazon. Shit, I have to keep shipping more. They just keep selling like hotcakes. I have not been to the Australia Zoo. No, drove past it once. Never been to the Australia Zoo. It's a pretty small zoo. The comments are a bit, how you doing? Yeah, I agree. More interesting questions. Where do I find such plentiful dumpsters? I get this question every freaking day of my life. I'm in an industrial, well, not industrial, I'm in a commercial business park in a commercial office complex which has multiple commercial buildings, and they all share this one dumpster room. And there's hundreds of companies sharing this one dumpster room. All these companies, their computer doesn't work anymore. They throw it out. Their huge flat screen 65-inch 4K TV, breaks down. They dump it. It's just the way it is. But most of the time, look, 95% of the time I go to the dumpster room to check and there's nothing there but garbage. What is my choice of end of the world battle rifle? Hey, bloody, you have to be a Yank, Eric. Obsessed about guns. I reckon a good baseball bat. No, I haven't repaired a HP 4194A. RSI means repetitive strain injury. Means if you do the same thing over and over, like typing or using a mouse, you'll get repetitive strain injury. And Thunderfoot is skeptical about electro cars, and you? No, I don't think you got to be careful. He's not skeptical about electric cars as such, right? You've got to be careful about that. No, I love electric cars. I want electric cars, but yes, they don't compete with, like, that'd be good for my use, because everything's close to home. So an electric car for my particular use is very good. But for any other purpose, if I want to go up the mountains canyoning or something, an electric car, unless it's a Tesla with a massive range, is not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. And he's absolutely right. He's bang on about they can't just magically come up with a new battery technology that's going to be an order of magnitude better. It's not going to happen. They would turn into bombs. It's just not going to happen. But we're doomed to eking out a few percent here, a few percent there every year. But it's not going to be, if you're hoping that there's going to be some whiz-bang magical battery technology that suddenly increases, that's suddenly 10 times better than what we've got now, you die before you get it. It's not going to happen. We're pushing the limits, not far off pushing the limits of what's available with chemical battery technology. Really are. Doesn't matter what whiz-bang shit you put in there. It becomes so densely packed, the energy so energy packed per unit volume, it becomes dangerous. Imgur. Oh, that looks pretty good. Dominic Idzenik, an SDR scope from Scope Month. No, I don't remember. I don't remember it offhand. But yeah, that looks looking pretty good. You're using Arctic 7. That's pretty beefy, and a couple of Linear Tech parts in there. A Linear Tech part, and that's looking pretty jazzy. I'm sure that's quite capable. No, I have not worked with high voltage. All my stuff has been low voltage. When you're building complex circuits on a breadboard, what method can we follow? That's a pretty broad question. Define complex. What type of circuits are we talking about? The problem with breadboards is is any dubiousness of the physical connection. It's like, like a good tip is when you're peeling your resistors or your caps off the reels, right? As in the through hole ones off the tape. My brain's not engaged today. The reels. Why can I not think of the correct word for that? Anyway, when you peel them off, be careful. Don't go plug them straight into the breadboard because they'll have glue on the ends of the pins, and then that'll get between the pin and the contact and won't make contact. You can have a dodgy intermittent contact in there. So intermittent contacts are the biggest thing on just using the correct gauge wire for a start, and keeping your breadboards in good condition. 1 cup of coffee from one EE to another. Thank you very much, DE Saracen, except I won't buy coffee with your $2 because I don't drink coffee. Go get a nice smoothie or something. No, I was not given a spot welder. Oh, right. Yes, I was given a spot welder in the mailbag. It was an electric welder thing. It's just not my thing. Do you get knowledge about physics? Yes, I like learning about physics. I watch many physics videos and stuff. I'm really into physics. I went through a phase. Probably, I was back at uni. I went through a phase where I would read physicists' biographies, for example. I read probably half the... I read a book about every Nobel Prize-winning physicist, for example. And yeah, I was really into that back then. That was a long time ago. I was into reading either biographies or autobiographies of famous and not so famous physicists. Really into that. Yes, Sagan and Huxley are in school. Well, I'm listening for 50 minutes. Kevin. Oh, is this Kev? Is this the same Kev that we have before? Well, I'm listening for 50 minutes now. I haven't heard something really interesting so far. I'm not trolling you. Sorry for my bad English. It's not my main language. But hey, I can speak 2 languages. Good on you, Kev. Better man than I. I can only speak 1. 2, if you count Strine. Okay, if you haven't heard anything interesting, leave. Or ask a question that you want an interesting answer for, perhaps. You know, don't just sit back and complain about it. Actually contribute and make it, you know. Do I have any idea how much longer I want to be an electronics vlogger? I hate the word vlogger, but I guess it's a thing. It's as long as I keep enjoying it. Maybe. I've been doing it for 10 years now. Full time for 8. Coming up in April will be the 10th anniversary. Before you were talking about LED drivers, having SDA and SCL pins, how could we use on a shared SPI bus? Well, one thing I'm assuming that you're not talking about mixing I2C with SPI. You can't do that. But a shared SPI bus, SPI is not a drop bus like I2C is. I2C, things are in parallel on the bus. The SPI bus is a serial cascaded chain bus. So, you know, you've got data out, which has to go to the next one. And, you know, you cannot, well, you can multi-drop, but then you've got to have chip enable, to, you know, it's like, yeah, it's a different thing. Christmas and New Year, staying in Darling Harbour. Good on you, Heath. Enjoy it. Staying at Darling Harbour, what, the Novotel or something at Darling Harbour? Darling Harbour's nice. They've really done it up now. Spent a lot of money doing up Darling Harbour. I can remember when I was a boy, it was all docklands. It was all just docklands, and now it's a real thriving hub with the entertainment quarter or whatever they call it, with the new convention and entertainment centre, which is very schmicko. I sort of cried when they tore down the old exhibition centre, but I can see why they did it. The new one's pretty impressive. They ripped down the entertainment centre though, bastards. Is the Rigol 1030 still the best 4-channel oscilloscopes for its price? It could be. I don't know. Depends on your needs. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. It's probably slogging it out with the Siglent. Like 6 of one, half dozen the other. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. JBC versus Metcow. Whoa, the fanboys are going to go nuts. Oh, the Metcow fanboys. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. With their direct RFI heating technology, they just love it. They think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're not necessarily wrong. But I don't know. I've used both. That is a religious war. Well, it's not it's Metcow versus everyone else. That's pretty much it. Yeah. The TAFE courses, David's Tech. What are your thoughts on TAFE courses in electrotechnology? They're pretty good. Depends on which one you want to do. I've discussed that on the forum. Somebody in the forum had an extensive question on that. So search the forum. There's plenty of stuff on that. Depends on what one you're talking about. You're talking about the 3-year diploma. You're talking about the 2-year. I'd go for the 3-year diploma. The electrotechnology one from memory is more it's more industrial tradey. It's not. I'd recommend the electronics diploma one, which is a I think probably a better course. Follow-on video for what, 4.5 digit multimeters? I don't know. On eBay. My middle finger, like I'm just reading the comments, and this one just reminded me of what I watched last night, which was the Dawn Wall, the Dawn Wall on Netflix, and it's about Tommy Caldwell, who's like one of the best climbers in the world, and how he accidentally chopped his finger off, index finger. Accidentally chopped it off, like from here upwards, chopped it off on a, he's using a circular saw, accidentally chopped it off, and he still went on to pioneer the free climbing route on the Dawn Wall. Unbelievable. The guy just, like, can you imagine losing your finger and then still being, like, practically the best climber in the world? It's insane. It's insane. Great documentary, that one. Great. The Dawn Wall, highly recommend it. Along with Valley Uprising, which is the history of rock climbing in the Yosemite Valley. Superb, funny video too, funny movie doco too. It's very good. I don't know when the oscilloscope giveaway ends. Whenever I deem it so. Nah, we won't get to Mars by 2030. We could. It's possible using Mars Direct, Robert Zubrin's Mars Direct or some other system. We can do it, like if we really wanted to. But I want to do a video on that. I want to do it like a blab or something on why Mars colonization as a backup to planet Earth is not going to succeed. It is simply not going to succeed. And any Mars colony is also not going to succeed unless it's by government decree and government funding, because they're not going to be able, no tourist is going to want to go to Mars. There is absolutely no contest whatsoever, done and dusted, between Mars and, so tourism to Mars or tourism to the moon, there is absolutely no contest. No one's going to want to go to Mars. It's just dumb. It doesn't mean, like, I'm a huge Mars fan. I got my, I'm a card carrying. Look at this. There we go. I'm a get your ass to Mars. There you go, my Buzz Aldrin t-shirt. Right? I'm a, speaking of which, oh, look at that. Look at that. Signed by the Buzz himself. Oh, sorry. There we go. That's a, signed by the Buzz. Still haven't taken it out of the wrapper. And, yep, brilliant. I'm a huge Mars fanboy, as well as a Moon fanboy, but yeah, it's just not going to happen. It's bullshit. Tourists can pay for the Moon. Tourists cannot pay for Mars. It's not going to happen. No, Electron Ash, I don't think, well, of course we need to concentrate on keeping Earth alive for a bit longer, but no, we have to do both. No, I think we should be spending money on setting up a colony on the Moon and eventually on the Mars as well. But, but the Mars one is not sustainable from an economic standpoint. It's just, it's not going to happen, whereas the Moon one can happen. I can't wait. I'm dying to wait for Artemis, the movie, which is going to be brilliant, I'm sure. Wonder if they got a trailer yet. No, I don't even know if it's started filming yet. What do I watch on YouTube besides electronics? Oh, I watch lots of stuff. I like real misc stuff. I like the history guy, for example. I watch history videos. I watch political videos. I watch physics videos. I watch other engineering videos. I watch lots of space videos. The Curious Droid video I just watched before this, for example. Astrum videos. Tons of different topics. Lots of different topics. I don't watch many electronics videos because I don't know. I just like, I know about electronics. It's not like I'm not going to learn something. If there's something that takes my fancy, if there's an fellow electronics YouTuber who takes my fancy, I'll watch it. But it's not like I get subscription updates and, oh, X blogger has released a new electronics video, I'm going to watch it. I just, no, I've only got X amount of time per day and X amount of interest. So unless it's something that particularly takes my fancy, then I'm not going to watch. Then I'm not going to watch it. But I watch a broad range of stuff. Oh, boy. What's the time, by the way? 2:15. I've already mentioned it, Heisenberg. I've already mentioned flat Earth way back in the start. You can scroll back. I should keep this under, what is it? Is it 4 hours or 2 where YouTube does it? I think it's 2 where YouTube doesn't stitch the video together automatically or something like that. I'm almost up to 2 hours. So if I stopped it now, all 2 hours would go live. But it's something like over 6 or 7 hours. It just chops off content or doesn't save it or some bullshit. But I think up to 4 or 5, like my last video went for 5 hours and it eventually processed it all. But anything over 2 hours, no, I don't know who Ted Smith is. Who's Ted Smith? I have no idea. If I type Ted Smith into Google. Ted Smith, Wikipedia. American footballer. No. I assume you're not talking about American footballer, an art director, a conservationist, a cyclist, environmentalist, a footballer, Edwin Smith and Rowe, aero star, what? Australian footballer. They're all footballers. Speaking of Smiths, got a phone call from Tricky Dick the other day. Tricky Dick Smith himself. In fact, he's called me like 4 or 5 times now. I'm his go-to guy. He's calling me all the time. I'm going to have to block him. Low quality troll, someone's saying. Yeah, it's nothing worse than a low quality troll. Love a good high quality troll. Do I ever experience electronics burnout and lose interest for a short period of time and then get back to it again weeks later? Oh, yeah, Yeah, I work on projects. I'm all furious about a project. Then it gets to a point where I might lose interest and either never come back or eventually get back to it. Yeah, sure. It happens. It's been happening for my entire life. Any tips for keeping a motivation after a project fails? It's good. If a project fails, you need to know why. Don't ever walk away from a project not knowing why it failed. But if a project fails, it's like it could be, well, I don't know. If it's demotivating, well, you've got more. I probably think you've got more problems in life than, anything that might, any tips can help fix, I suspect. I think it's a bigger issue. Yes, behind the curve. Yes. Tapo. I talked about that before. Once again, people coming in late in the comments. I didn't mention the name before, but yes, that's what it's called. Behind the curve. Yes, it's entertaining. I talked about it before. I won't go through it again, but yeah, it was a fascinating documentary. It was hilarious, and the ending's hilarious. I don't mention. Oh, it shows how well people debate about science and religion. Yeah. No, I don't watch Lego video. Oh, do I watch Lego videos? Sagan does, yes, and by proxy, I do too. Sagan loves Lego videos. He loves GBC. He's big into GBC. Great ball contraption, and I'm no Tom Atkinson. That's for sure. For those who watch who know their GBC videos. Hey Dave, do you have any tips? Any? And why? Come on. young whippersnapper, Ren EECS, who's into Sega Genesis. Come on, stop this young whippersnapper talk. Do you have any? I assume that's a typo. No, I'm going to assume that's a typo and not a new kiddie shortcut for any. Tips for young engineers who had a hard time finding mentors. Your design fundamentals videos are invaluable. Thank you. Do I have any tips for young engineers? Yeah, it's hard to find mentors, hard to find people that are so, motivated, who, so passionate about their stuff. My recommendation would be that if you just go work at a random company, then it's just going to be random pot luck who you get, right? And whether or not they're going to be any sort of mentor at all, or any sort of good, or any sort of interest, or have any interest in your interest, so to speak. Mouth's very dry. Lips are very dry. So what I would recommend is that you go look at blogs and stuff from, like, I don't know, like the big manufacturers, the big companies, and find the people who are like a real good technical blog that, on a topic that interests you. And usually it might be like the head of applications engineering at a company, or it might be the senior engineer at, Texas Instruments or something, for example, or, anything, right? Any company that's doing this. Find out, and they'll always put their name. They usually always put their name against their material. And generally, they enjoy doing that sort of stuff. They're the passionate kind of people that will make, and almost certainly make, good mentors. And they will have an interest in you if you have an interest in what they're interested in. So I would then contact them directly. I've done a video on this on job, finding a job. And then contact them directly and say, hey, I loved your thing. I think I loved your article on blog. I'm really interested in this thing too, and I'd love to work with you, and and I can do this for you. Don't just go, I'd love to work with you. Say, I can do this for you. I can design boards for you. I can help out. I'd love it. And then they're the ones. So find people specifically. Don't just take pot luck. That's otherwise, that's why you're going to have bad luck finding a mentor. It's just, you really have to target people. It's the difference. Like, I've written a book on dating, right? I've written a book on internet dating. It's like, you have to specifically, the key to success in that is specifically narrowing down your search and finding a target of somebody that you like, right? Rather than, you go on these speed dating things or whatever, where you meet 10 people in 10 minutes. What? You meet 10 random people. The odds of you liking any one of those 10 random, or being compatible with any one of those 10 random people, is almost bordering on zero. It's stupid. You're just wasting your time. So you've really got to specifically, I'm fine, thank you, Manna. Anyway, I hope I answered your question, Ren EECS. Can a jewel thief work on electronic cars? No, it can't, James Lancaster. A jewel thief, it's in the name. It steals little bits of energy. Like, it probably should be like micro jewel thief or something. Can't even steal jewels, right? The whole idea is that it steals, tiny amounts of energy. That's by definition, that's what a jewel thief is. It just, works on like flea power stuff. So no, it's got orders and orders and orders of magnitude, not even close to being anything useful for electronic cars. Not even close. You don't even have to research that to know it. Straight off the top of your head, bang, bullshit, done. Right? When will I admit the Internet of Things is just a silly hobby project? Yes, it is. I'm sick of hearing it. You don't watch the Amp Hour, do you, Jake? Because I've been making Internet of Things jokes. I follow the Internet of Shit on Twitter, and I retweet the Internet of Shit a lot. And it's just, I'm sick of hearing about the Internet of Things. Oh dear, oh dear. Dude, Oscar Garza, I've done so many job tips video. Watch my last live show. Did I break out? Did I break out the job tips? Did I have a second channel? Did I put it up on my second channel? YouTube.com EEVblog 2. Because I had so many questions about finding a job. In the previous one, I probably spent like 20 minutes talking about that. And I think I broke it out as a separate video after the last live show. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I might be wrong. Or I might have released it as a blab video. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong or post a link. Because, no, it's not there. Could have sworn I took my last live show and extracted some advice out of it. I think I did. Why does that ring a bell? Anyway, I won't go through it again. Sorry, the last live show there was lots of comprehensive talk on finding a good job. And I've done a recent video. Didn't I? Yeah, I was just mentioning that before. Like EEVblog, like job search channel. Job tips. Or engineering job. Like I've done many. I've done several videos. I've done like top 5 tips for job. I've done 3 videos. Number 7, number 27, number 138. And then electronics beginner advice, how to become a professional engineer. Is that's the one I'm thinking about maybe. That's number 11, video 1175. Could have sworn I poked it. Anyway, sorry, I'm not gonna. Yes, I've been out of Australia, Flavio. A lot of my projects fail due to overambition, feature creep, and lack of funds. That's why 90% of Kickstarters fail. Well, I'm not saying 90% of Kickstarter, but 90% of the Kickstarters that fail because they run out of money and feature creep and overambition. It's just classic. Dave on the Joe Rogan Experience would be awesome. I do like he's killing it, man. He has found a really good niche in interviewing people. Holy shit, man. He's killing it. Although the one with Jack Dorsey, that was a shit show. But the more recent one with Jack and Tim Pool on it, that was much better. Only because Tim Pool was on it. But yeah, occasionally he screws up. Most of the time, he's a smart dude. I don't like his intro. Does he still have the stupid intro where the thing and it goes freak bitches? It's like what kind of unprofessional intro is that? I mean, anyway. Ever considered coming to USA and going on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast? Like, why would he have me on? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not like you can just request to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm sure he gets thousands of people saying, "Oh, I'd love to come on your podcast." I'm sure he's just like be a full-time job, just sifting through the emails of people who want to come on because he's huge. Sometimes YouTube doesn't tell you I'm streaming. Sometimes it won't tell you at all I'm streaming, let alone late. Well, I haven't heard that one before, but I like it. Osama. Science advances one funeral at a time. Max Planck. Who is John Galt? For some reason that name rings a bell. See ya. 4 a.m. Pelugi. Thank you. For what? San Diego, USA. I've been to San Diego. I went to the San Diego. I went to SeaWorld in San Diego. Oh, geez, that was a bit boring. SeaWorld in San Diego. half the stuff was, not only was half the stuff closed, but you know, you go to the whale show. Was it a whale show or whatever? And you know, at the start of it, it's like, you know, stand up. We recognize our veterans. Blah blah. Oh, bloody Yanks. You know. Wow. Do you believe modern computer power supplies are anything different or are actually fairly basic in design? They're still fairly basic in design. They just have slightly better parts in them, you know, slightly better switching trannies, slightly better design magnetics, and they get slightly better efficiency than one from 30 years ago, you know. It's all an incremental thing. There's no, you know, there's a few topologies that have come along in the last 30 years maybe, but yeah, it's, you know, and there's been progress in like low ESR caps and stuff like that, like, or just the component technology and things like that, and the smart like algorithms, you know, the pulse skipping, you know, tech and stuff like that to increase your efficiency down at lower currents versus high currents and all that sort of jazz. You know, there's been a few innovations, but nothing hugely radical, really. Why are they still expensive? Solar power? Are you kidding me? Solar power is almost free nowadays. Go and look at the national what's the NPEL? What's the US National Solar NCEL? Not INCEL. What's the national? God, I can't remember now. Anyway, the US National Solar Research Division or something, they publish these yearly reports and they're ridiculous. And you look at the price of solar, both commercial and domestic size and use panels, it's asymptoting towards zero. It's just, are you kidding me? Still expensive. No way. What's my take on alien life then, Dave? Well, you know, I was hoping that SETI would work, but yeah, there's probably a reason why we haven't heard anything. I probably want to do a video on that. I want to go visit the Parkes radio telescope where they're doing SETI search at the moment. They got huge investment, private investment, and they're doing SETI there. You know, we're not being visited by alien life. It's totally bullshit. And you know, it's intelligent life. There's life out there. There's tons of life out there, but intelligent life might be much, much rarer than we thought. At least advanced technology, intelligent life. You know, there might be like dolphin type intelligence, you know, swimming around on other planets and stuff like that, but they may not have progressed. We don't know. We just don't know how easy it is to progress from just your basic single-celled organisms to intelligent and life intelligent enough to transmit an electromagnetic signal. You know, that's like, yeah, we just don't know. It might be much rarer. So it might be much harder to find than we think. But we'll eventually find evidence for life everywhere we look. I have a, you know, suspicion. You know, we might find it on Mars. We might find it on Europa. We might find it on, you know, a couple of other the main suspects just in this solar system alone. And once we do that, once we find it on other planets here, you know, end of debate. It's in every solar system, you know, not every solar system, but it's in tons. And I think that is inevitable. That's the inevitable outcome. 99.99999% sure. That's the inevitable outcome. Is that life of some form is quite common. But intelligent life, yeah. Yeah, Fermi paradox. No, I've never been to Biosphere 2. That'd be cool. Oh, somebody else mentioned the Fermi paradox. There you go. Yeah. Nice way to spend a lazy Saturday afternoon, indeed. Paul. Oh, Squid Boy. Jeez, if I have 1 or 2 days to visit in Australia, where should I go? Oh, jeez. Oh, what are you into? That's it. You can't do anything. Australia is the size of North America and Alaska combined. Like it's huge. Like people ask me this all the time, and I do have a huge set response. If you email me and say I'm coming to Sydney, I often send out this huge response about what to see and do and stuff like that. But like 1 or 2 days is like you come to Sydney and 2 days is not enough. Like you can't see anything. It's not, it takes you a day to travel into the Blue Mountains to see, any interesting, like wildlife, like stuff. And it's just, 1 or 2 days. I don't know. It depends what you're into. You could argue that you fly straight to Uluru, middle of Australia, big rock. That's Australia. It's just a rock. It's awesome. I highly recommend, if you ever get the chance, highly recommend go to Jonas, I'm into UFOs and aliens. Sure I am. Come on. What about ESP? Blow it out your ass. Come on. Seriously? Dave, do you ever worry about your kids being indoctrinated at school with all the bullshit going around at the moment? I'm not sure if you've ever seen me ask this question earlier. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. Sorry, Willie. That's a good question. Yes. I don't stay awake at night because they go to a good school where that's like really, that really doesn't happen. But I would be quite concerned. I am very concerned about that in general. I think it's really going in a bad direction in many ways. And thankfully I go to a good school where I get a say in it. It's really good. Like I got at Sagan School, I put in a proposal, and I even went in for talks with them, like a consulting type thing, and they opened a new robot makerspace. Well, it's a makerspace. They opened a new. I had a more like a larger proposal for them, and but they went with but they loved the idea. They called me in to consult on some issues and stuff, and they just opened a makerspace for the primary school kids, which is fantastic. That's all my doing. So. Oh, what's not all my doing? I'm the one who actually proposed it, and then other people liked it, and then they, sure, there's a lot of people involved, but anyway, yeah. Yes, I'm worried about that. Gravitational wave-based communications as a concept for distant future. Nah, I don't see that happening. You kidding me? Gravitational waves have to be huge. The only reason that we're getting the detecting gravitational waves, you know how hard that is? It is like they fire a laser at a mirror, and the mirror vibrates less than the width of an atom, and they use that to detect. Like it's insane. It's mind-blowing. Just to detect gravitational waves that come from a freaking that come from a supernova. Or two black holes colliding. You know how much energy is involved in that? I know there's a huge distance and stuff, but geez, man. So no, I don't think any useful information is going to be sent by gravitational wave communication. I could be wrong. Haven't done my research on it, but geez, off the bat, no way. You just... No. No. Gravity's a big thing. It's a big ass thing, It's not going to happen. It's not like, I've got my weight here. I don't know. I've got an object. I've got the monolith, right? And I vibrate the monolith to try and transfer data. And that could impart something, and this has mass, so it has gravity, right? So it's affecting like gravitational waves. So if you vibrate, it's probably generating gravitational waves, right? And like sending information, like it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yes, my wife works a couple of days a week, three days a week. Yes, she does. Battery leaking video is going to take a long time. Give me a job, please. Not with spelling and grammar like that. You blew it, kid. Yeah, it's there's a lot of bullshit in schools. Yep. Nothing makes me angrier than teaching kids religion in schools. Shit. Yep. And let alone all the other stuff that's going on these days. All the SJW PC driven bullshit that's going on. It's getting bad. Make a fart noise and I will subscribe. No, not your show pony. Piss off. Make a fart noise and I'll subscribe. Piss off. Seriously. I never plan on doing videos, really, John. I don't have a list of what I'm going to do next week. More fundamentals, basics videos. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I do what interests me at the time. I've seen those. Serapar, the technology can translate object vibration on the video with no audio to restore the audio. It's kind of cool. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. But yeah, it's like it's kind of sort of it works in quote marks, but as far as being practical, yeah, it's not, if you shine a laser at a window, yeah, that can work. For example, if you want to remote hear what people are saying through windows and stuff, that works. But otherwise, yeah. Stop making my chair vibrate. What the frig? No, I've never done a RTTY transmission. I don't think so. No, MacGuffer, sorry. Idea for someone for work experience. I've done that a couple of times. It's a real chore. It's a real chore. Oh, Caleb, that's a sorry, I lost it. I lost it, but it was a universal basic income as automation increases. That's a real tough one. One half of me says that universal basic income is a good idea, and there's lots of good arguments for it. You can make good arguments that I'm not going to say they're hard to, they're not impossible to refute, but they're pretty decent arguments. The other half of me says that no, because then if you're simply unwilling to work, right? If you're it's different. If you're unable to work, that's why we have, invalid pensions here in Australia. I'm not sure what it's like in other countries. If you're unable to work because of an accident and stuff like that, that's totally different. But a universal basic income where somebody simply is just a lazy fat ass who just wants to sit down and play video games all day and get a basic income, no, piss off. So I don't know how to do a universal basic income without it being abused. So we basically already, I'm not going to say we already kind of have that system here in Australia. If you, once again, if you're unable to work, you can apply for various pensions and stuff like that. It doesn't pay much. It's a real. I don't know why anyone would want to, have a subsistence living like that. It's really a low income. And then we have what's called the dole here, which is unemployment benefits. I don't think that goes on forever, though. It could in theory, but you have to kind of, prove that you're looking for work and stuff like that. I don't know. I've never gone on the dole. I've never accepted I've never had to be in that position. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, half of me thinks it's a good idea. The other half says, no, I don't think it's going to work. People are just going to abuse it. So, yeah, tough one. Tough one. So I'd probably tend towards no on the universal basic income. We already have systems that pretty much work, that are kind of, that solve the problems that universal basic income is designed to solve. So really it's, yeah. But actually, your specific question was as automation increases. No, see, this is a different thing. Sorry. Sort of went off on a tangent there. This is a different thing. As automation increases, automation has been happening for hundreds of years, and humans will always find something to do. Humans generally want to do stuff. As a general rule, they want to do stuff. And so I would say, like, automation's not going to, it'll just push jobs into other areas, that we even, like, that we didn't think of 10 years ago. Just as little as a decade ago, my job didn't exist. Did not exist. No such thing as a video blogger. All right? Really, essentially, Maybe you could say 15 or something. But yeah, it essentially, like, it really didn't exist. And we'll find they is coming up in spades, all these different niche jobs. It's like automation's not going to magically take away everyone's job. It's bullshit. It's not going to happen. I bet Dave can whistle DTMF tones. I doubt it. If anyone can tell me what this whistle is, you win the internet. Hang on. It's very short. It's very short. Only the Australians will get it. No one else is in them. I won't do the rest because you'll know it. I'm not very good at that. Anyway, see if anyone gets it. No. Anyway, thank you, John. Thanks for your videos. Thank you, John. Oh, I missed some. There's John. I assume that's not John. I assume that's John's kid. Cool. Cute. Thanks for your videos. Thank you, Amaka, who identifies as a tiger. Okay. Good soldering iron for under $100. There's not a good brand name bench iron under $100. I don't think there is. They're all the cheapies, all the rip-offs. If you're going to get a rip-off, just get, as I said before in the show, just get like a $20 Heiko 936 rip-off or something. Oh, one of the TS100 fanboys will jump out and attack me. I'm a proud subscriber to the EEV Dumpster Hack channel, waiting anxiously for videos. Awesome. Yep. I promise we'll make a video one day. Might actually happen. Believe it or not, it may. Stay subscribed. Was Wardenclyffe an attempt at a perpetual electricity generator? That's the Wardenclyffe. That's the Tesla. That's the location, isn't it? Wardenclyffe was the location. So they called the big Tesla tower that he never finished because he ran out of funds. I don't think it was never. It didn't. Yeah, the Wardenclyffe tower. Yeah, it didn't run out of. I think people say that. Hang on. Stupid screens. People say that he, I don't think he died before it. I think he simply ran out of money and then he eventually died. But I think it ran out of money. No one was. Yeah, the Tesla tower, the Wardenclyffe. That's the location, isn't it? So that's where the name comes from. And yeah, it was wireless power transfer, wasn't it? It wasn't a perpetual electricity generator. I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't looked at any patents or anything like that for it, but no, I think it was just an attempt at long range power transfer. That was never going to work, really, in a practical sense. Do I think YouTube comments are getting better? I remember like 5 years ago, you used to get a lot of hate about your voice. Haven't seen it in a while. Yeah, maybe. I kind of get that vibe. What kills the deal in universal basic income for me is when non-workers have babies. It's like, well, yeah. Any thoughts on engineering design services offered by Chinese fabs? The thinking being the product will be ripped off anyway if produced in China. It depends on what the product is and whether or not you care to have it ripped off and stuff like that. It doesn't, like, these Chinese fabs have thousands of designs a year going through. They're not going to rip off every one. It's just ridiculous. I think that's unfounded. They just don't care unless it's like really like they think it's a good idea and they could sell 1 million of them on eBay or whatever. They're not going to rip it off. But it's just some niche doofer winkle engineering gadget. They're not going to rip it off. It's like, you know, you're the one who knows the market for that. They don't, right? No, it has to be something more specifically widely generic that they can sell on the consumer market, I guess. 3 to 4 years ago, I watched an EEV and thought, God, this guy has an annoying voice. Now I pretty much have to have an EEV video on the background. Thanks for getting me hooked. No worries. Yeah, people get used to the annoying voice. What's your take on the future of graphene-based technology products? It's been promising lots of shit for a lot of years, and it's just no. You know, it's like it's meh. You know, if it was so magic, it would have happened by now. And yeah, it'll probably have some incremental progress and stuff like that. But they claim to be graphene-based batteries and graphene-based this and that, and it's like, well, yeah, can I buy it on eBay? Can I buy it on DigiKey? It's like, where's the stuff? You know, I won't believe it till I see it. Plenty of lazy fat asses playing video games on the dole in New Zealand. What do you think about Bob Weidler's quote on digital electronics? Any idiot can count to one. I've got the poster. I've used it as a screenshot in one of my videos. I can't remember which one. Any idiot can count to one. Legendary quote. Dave, thoughts on the ADEM 2000? That's the isolator. Is it not? Oh. Jeez, hang on. Oh. That's the isolator. No, hang on. Wrong browser. USB software defined. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, no. Okay, yep. No, it's the, I think it's taken me to a, oh, yeah, right, sorry. No, why am I thinking of the USB isolator, like the digital isolator thing? I don't know. I don't have one. I think, were they going to send me? I don't think I've been sent one. I think I kind of vaguely recall they're going to send one in the mailbag, or have they sent one? I don't think they have. One day I'm just going to upload a video on YouTube, and it's like something I've already done. That is my fear. I'm going to forget I've actually done it. I'm sure I haven't done a video on it. I think I vaguely recall, no. I vaguely recall somebody, they were going to send me one or something, but I don't know. I don't know. Look, it's another, what is it? It's just another, well, like the analog devices, what is it? Oh God, I'm not having a good day. My brain's not working. It's, once again, it's not two-channel. It's going to have limited input range, like on the digital scope. It's not a digital scope. It just does the, what is the analog devices, USB, doohickey. Everyone's screaming at me in the comments. Anyway, I don't, they're good learning tools, like, but yeah, apart from that, like they're good to play around with, but they're pretty expensive. They're not cheap, I don't think. Like the 14-bit samplers or whatever they use in there, the chip alone costs like $50. Like, they're not cheap. Am I satisfied with the Chinese chip components? Depends, is the answer. Saley is one of them, and it all depends on the software. But the analog devices, got to find it now. No, no, my brain's just not working. Oh. How do I sit in front of a camera for this long and not pick my nose? Would you like me to pick my nose? BigClive.com running on another video. The future of battery technology is very incremental. I mentioned this earlier, like an hour ago. It's very incremental. If you're sitting around waiting for a 10-fold increase in battery capacity, it ain't going to happen. Jonas, it's called conducted mode noise. Jonas, look up conducted mode noise, common mode noise, ground noise. Yep, that's a it's a loop thing, earthing thing as well. Whole bunch of stuff involved in that. Piss off, Bob. Plutonium battery tech, like in The Martian, that's real. They're thermoelectric generators. Thermoelectric generators, they're real. They're a real deal. If you're going to Mars, you need a bloody thermoelectric generator. Solar's gonna... Oh, solar, you can do okay, but it's not gonna power a freaking colony. Geez, you need a huge farm to do it. And then if you get a dust storm, it doesn't black it out, but geez, it does reduce the effectiveness. But you can go out there and clean it. Now pronounce that, and please do the op-amp loop stabilization vids. Remember last live chat? Do I? No, I don't remember the last live chat, sorry. Yeah, I might get around to a loop stabilization vid for op-amps using transformer injection. Any people who install, I haven't heard about that, but people who install huge antenna arrays in their backyard to harvest energy are idiots. Why? When you have a power line, a massive, when you have a 60 amp power line going to your house, like why would you, what? It's stupid. One little pissant solar panel can harvest more energy than a bloody array of antenna dishes. Why would you even do that? Please go home. Your neck looks not good. It's nervous scratches. Get some sleep. Yeah, I've been going for a while, haven't I? 3 hours. I could last all day. No worries. I think it's been like 2.5 maybe. Oh, yeah, it only goes back to the last 2 hours. No, I've been going longer than that. It's 3 o'clock. Not sure what time I started. Hey, Signal Path in the house. I have my first live Ask Me Anything session on Sunday. Awesome. No, sorry, I'm playing. Cool. Yeah, I thought about having one of the Reddit AMAs, but I don't see the point. I don't see the point in like a Reddit thing where people type in text things and I type in a text response. That like, meh. Video's the way to go. No, I did not hear about that, Electron Ash. RTGs were left in a forest in Georgia. I'm sure they slept right next to them. They were probably very warm. Most of them died or had terrible radiation burns. Wow, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, you guessed it right. Caxlong, sorry I didn't follow that up. Yes, the whistle. Yes, it was Skippy the bush kangaroo. But kangaroo is with a K. Not, and it's... Yes, it was Skippy. Sorry. It's a very Australian thing. Skippy the bush kangaroo, very 1970s Australian thing. I'm like the Duracell bunny. Or is it the Energizer bunny? There's both. No, I don't really play board games anymore or computer games. No, I haven't played it for years. I went through a computer game phase. Late teens, early 20s. Text is made of potato again. Quickie, if I want to make text on a PCB that is make text on, engage brain before I talk. If I want to make text on a PCB that is made of exposed copper in Altium, what layer do I assign it to? You assign it to the top copper layer or the bottom copper layer, but you have to remove the solder mask. So you have to put either the matching text, if you just want this, you either put the matching text on the solder mask in the same location, so you just get the outline of the letters coming through as the copper, or you simply put like a square of solder mask. You remove a square around the text. So you place the text on the copper layer. There's no point. It has to be on the copper layer because it's copper. You want exposed copper. So it can't be anywhere else. It's got to be on the top or bottom copper layer with solder mask removed. Otherwise, by default, the solder mask will just cover the whole thing. And therein lies the trap. And usually you've got to do that manually because usually you're not going to define text as like text is not a component. So you're not going to put it down as like a pad and then you can set, and then the program's not going to automatically remove the solder mask for you. For example, it's not going to do automatic solder mask expansion or anything like that. So really, because by default, solder mask just goes over copper. So you either have to do it as some whiz-bang custom component, or you just do a text and copper text and put the matching corresponding solder mask text on top. Because solder mask is an inverse thing. So if you put the text on the solder mask, it removes the solder mask. Science is but a perversion of itself unless it has as its ultimate goal the betterment of humanity. Haven't heard that one before. It's okay, I guess. Do the Tim Tam Slam. There's a video of me on the internet doing the Tim Tam Slam. What country do I think has the best electronics engineers? That's just silly. Doesn't Poland have the best programmers? The Polish programmers are the best. Isn't that a thing? I'm sure that's a thing. It's supposed to be a thing. More yawning. I am a compulsive yawner. USA, USA, USA. But Huawei is probably okay, maybe. No, they're Gonski, aren't they? Thank you, Caleb. I don't know the theme to the Lost Island or Secret Valley. I don't know what either of those things are. Must be an American thing. Thank you, Anthony. Glad you enjoy it. Yes, of course Vegemite's still a popular food in Australia. Of course it is. It's Vegemite. Who's Perry the Platypus? Don't know Perry the Platypus. Yeah, of course the oscilloscope giveaways still happen. I give it a couple of days. It's only been like 2 to 3 days, hasn't it? Some people don't watch a video for a week, so I'll probably wait like a week and then shut it down. By shut it down, I mean close applications and then do the draw, which will be live. Yes, I've seen The Core, the movie The Core. Do you think it's possible? No, it's not possible. Can you make a Raspberry Pi data node from a remote word? Skippy made an appearance at the Bathurst 1000 a few years back. Some say he's still in orbit. Yeah, let's watch it. Let's watch it. Let's piss some people off. Not safe for work. Not safe for work. Here we go. YouTube.com. Not safe for work. Coming up. New music streaming service is here. YouTube Music? Is that a thing? Ask Dave live. Look at that. Recommended. Woohoo! What else has been recommended to me? Stargate update. From Gateworld. Okay. Geez, I recommend a lot of my own videos. Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, I wanted to learn how to finally chop an onion. See, this is not my logged in account, so I don't know where it's getting this from. It's just like I just use Edge as a generic browser in live streams where it's not, or maybe recorded videos where it's not, you know, doesn't have any historical stuff and doesn't log in. Brightside. 15 amazing shortcuts you aren't using. Okay. EEVblog. Looper is recommended. Comedy. Aircraft. Electrical engineering topic. Mr. Carlson's lab. Electro Boom. Oh, geez. 8.9 million views. Jesus. That guy's hit a winner with mainstream. Honda Civic. I don't care about cars. Bohemian Rhapsody at Live Aid. Yeah, we could watch that. Oh, that's doing... I still haven't watched the movie. Still haven't watched the movie. Really? That's the difference in the scene from one to the other? Wow, really? Jeez, that looks... They really nailed that, didn't they? I heard it's really good. I heard it's really good, and they recreated the whole concert. But wow, yeah, I'm going to have to watch that. Jeez, that might be tonight's video. And sorry, I'm getting carried away. Joe Rogan. Talked about Joe Rogan before. Talk shows, NBA, mixed martial arts. EEVblog 2 is recommended. So, yeah. Anyway. What was I going to search for? Oh! Bathurst... First 1000. I've driven around Bathurst a couple of times. Bathurst 1000 Kangaroo. Here's the not safe for work. Here we go. Go Skippy. Here we go. Go Skip.
Writing's not that easy, but
If people don't know, 30 seconds ad? Because I'm not logged in. I don't have my YouTube Red, so I never see ads because I've got YouTube Red, but I'm not logged in. So anyway, if people don't know, the Bathurst 1000 is like a world-famous racing circuit. It's here in Australia. It's at Bathurst, which is out west. And it's on a mountain. We race on a mountain, not this circuit. You know, flat circuit bullshit. Nah, Aussies race on a bloody mountain. And it's kangaroos just run wild on the tracks. It's a thing. It really is a thing, and you'll see it. Here we go. Whoa, yeah. 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 Is this going to be like a kangaroo compilation? Will it be a... Here he is. There, go Skip. Go Skip. Go Skip. Go. Yes, he's dodging them all. Good on you, Skip. Off he goes. Yay. Winner. Oh. Jim Reed, yeah, they didn't obviously get that one, but that's what a Roo did to his car. That's not much damage. Usually they do a lot more. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Bang! Whoa! Go Skip. Oh! There we go. That's a lot of damage. There you go. There you go. Kangaroos. Yeah? Kangaroo, like... Oh. Whoa. It's a compilation. It's a compilation. They're really dumb. Kangaroos. Look at him. Comes, sneaks in. Oh. Whoa, look at him. Up he goes. Yeah, he's not injured. Up he goes. Mount Panorama. Been up there. And, yep. Hit another kangaroo. Sorry if you're not hearing this. Go Skip. There he goes. He's got to have a pass, yeah. And yeah, it's like on the edge of the bush. And yeah, kangaroos just, anyway. So yes, that is a thing. Yeah, kangaroos run across racetracks in Australia. Cool, huh? It's a thing. Only in Australia. Yep. Everyone's talking among themselves. Nobody's talking about the Roos. I wasn't going to skip it. It's too much fun. Yeah, Dyson products are often overhyped, but you know, we got a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Works all right. What's the best non-flammable material to prevent heat escaping from your roof? Well, in the roof, escaping from your room. Well, in your roof, you've got the pink bats, as we call them here. They come in various different grades, based thicknesses, and various different thermal ratings and stuff like that. You can also put them in your walls. So a good house will have, like a gyprock-based steel-framed house or whatever, will have the pink bats in the walls to insulate and things like that. So, yeah. Cree. Silicon carbide MOSFETs. Great. I have no idea. Haven't used them. Sorry. Thank you, Resinbot. Basil. Thank you, Basil. There's Resinbot. Bloody well stay still. My little plug-in will pop up. Oh, whoa, he's got the Russian... There's a terrorist photo if there ever was one. It's got the watermark. Everyone looks like a terrorist in their passport photo. You know, you're not allowed to smile. And as a guy who smiles a lot, like it's like I can't like wipe the smirk off my face. You know, so yep. but it's got the holographic thing scanned. So that's kind of cool. Road Blaster. Straight out of the 80s. Dave, I need to replace a ceramic cap on a logic board. Why? The schematic says it's 5.7 puff, but no mention of voltage. Is there a way I can find out voltage? Well, what kind of... they're all like... Well, it depends. Like, is it a surface mount? Is it a disc ceramic? If it's a disc ceramic, they don't come in anything less than 50 volts or something. You know, like it doesn't matter what circuit is it used in. 5.7 puff isn't much, so it's either some like RF thing or maybe it's a crystal oscillator, you know, cap or something like that, in which case it's like logic level stuff. But generally, ceramic cups don't really come, unless they're like that low in value, they don't come in low voltages. When you get up to like the microfarads and the tens of microfarads, yeah, that's when you get down to like 5 volt caps, 3 volt caps and stuff like that, and it really matters. But sorry, without further information, that's how you find out the voltage is the answer, because it's not going to be labeled on there. You need to see what your product is, and figure out what part of the product. If it's surrounded by all like logic-y, digitally kind of stuff, then you know it's 5 volts, right, or less, doesn't matter. So yes, I tweeted that today, Carl. The video on the news the other day, a paraglider who got attacked by a roo when landing. Yes, I retweeted that at lunchtime today. There's a kangaroo in your driveway when we came home from work. Yeah, they're everywhere. Does the podcast generate any direct income? Not really, apart from Patreon. So technically, yes, it does, but we don't get much on Patreon. Don't get much. Hey, Dave, could you do a few more videos on FPGAs? Maybe some projects? Possibly. Yeah, maybe. Not that into FPGAs, but yeah, I could. Perhaps. If it takes me. I work on whims. Who won the Keysight? No one. This is not the Keysight draw. Watch some idiot issue a copyright strike because EEVblog didn't provide transformative commentary for the kangaroo racing video. Yeah, right. Oh, I'm way out, sorry. It's not raining. It's pretty dark and miserable. Oh, it is raining. Yep, it's raining. Yep. It's a very slight. I can barely see it, but yeah, I noticed the drips on there. There's a couple of drips on the window. Yep. Anyway, I better call it quits soon. Probably want to just bum around the lab. Maybe get a few ideas for starting a video or something. Don't have time to finish one, really. No, audio full busting videos are hard. No, I don't have a project or video roadmap. No, as I said, I work on whims. FPGA is not the best field in electronics. It's a field. What am I drinking? Water. Water. Good old-fashioned water. Thank you, Hernandy. This might be it. This might be the last question. Do you have some tips about cares in coating small boards that will be exposed to rain and sun for around a year? You need, I don't know what cares means. That's obviously a translation issue. That's called conformal coating. And you can get many different types of conformal coating. I've got some conformal coating spray here, but like if it's exposed to rain and the sun, really, the exposed board? Generally, you wouldn't expose a board to direct sun. Why wouldn't you put some sort of cover over it at the least? Or then you can completely pot it as well. You can pot it as a block. But in terms of, normally you wouldn't conformally coat a board and then just leave it exposed in the sun and the rain. You'd at least try some sort of barrier first, some sort of protective barrier first. Yeah, you just wouldn't do that. It's not a thing. Oh, change the battery pack. There you go. I better go then. It's telling me I'm going to quit. The battery's about to die. So thanks everyone for joining me. I'll take that as a cue to... It had like 229 minutes or something when I started this. It's still running on battery, this camcorder. It isn't a webcam, it's a camcorder with HDMI output, goes into my HDMI capture card. It's probably going to cut me off. I'll keep going until it cuts me off. As soon as it cuts off the video, I'm out of here. Although the mic will still work. But the video will die. Thank you. I did try to troubleshoot the CRT and the tech scope, but the problem is that you can't power it up. I would have to like make a custom cable and custom signals to feed into it in order to power it up. It's a real pain in the ass. So I have looked at a few things on it, and I have shot some footage from that little troubleshooting investigation, but I haven't found anything yet. So, and I put it back in. I thought I might have found a cap, maybe. So I replaced it, put it back in. Nah, wasn't. So, yeah, I just don't know. It's a pain in the ass to troubleshoot because you can't put it in powered up. It's nuts. Graphene woo-woo paste. First thing you do, thou shalt measure voltages when debugging your board. Measure your voltages. Anyway, this battery's going to keep lasting. Look, it's up. There we go. It's dead. Tasking projects. Do not disconnect the power. You're going to disconnect it for me. Thanks. Is it? It's still outputting that. Wow. Wow. It's still tasking program. Do not disconnect the power source. Maybe that was, I think what's happened there is that XSplit has stopped on the last frame and it's just captured that was the last frame, and when it disconnected the video, it didn't go blank. It's simply displaying the last frame there. So I think that's what happened there. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Catch you next time. How do I stop this bloody thing?